Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 337. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
It's us now. It's just us.
Just baseball.
Just baseball. I'm not even... I couldn't be less tapped into the NBA, so I don't even recognize that that's actually going on right now.
Did you watch LeBron's record-breaking game by chance? Or
I just watched the highlights. I just saw the highlights, and LeBron bugs me, dude.
He does.
He bugs me.
Self-proclaimed LeBron hater, but I still tuned in because I was like, I just want to be able to say that I saw it. Like I remember exactly where I was for Kobe's last game when he dropped what was like 60 or whatever, just stuff like that. Even if I don't even care.
Yeah, that one's a good one. Yeah, I understand it. It's just he bugs me, dude. He just drives me crazy. I don't. Yeah.
Now that football's over.
Football's done. Like, my attention is fully on baseball now.
Now, are you the type of person? I feel like we have this conversation at this point in time every year, where spring training rolls around, pitchers and catchers starting to report. In fact, I know we've had this conversation before, but I feel like it warrants repeating. Do you truly get excited when you start seeing these graphics come out after the Super Bowl where all these baseball accounts are like, we're up, baseball's got next.
Yeah, we're up next, yeah.
Or you just are like, do you feel like you have to force it, or do you just feel like you're genuinely happy that baseball's here, or do you feel like, you're kind of having to pretend that you're excited and you're really just going to be more excited once games actually start happening?
So I think there's two answers to that. One, as a podcast host, it's a different story, right? As a Yankees fan, I don't think it really hits me until I turn on the first spring training game. Like, that's the moment where I'm like, I actually get to watch and listen to a broadcast today. That's where I'm like, okay, we're back.
That's a very reasonable take because, again, we've had this conversation, and I may, who knows, like different years, I may go back and forth, like with the CBA negotiations, all that stuff that we've seen recently. Like there've certainly been instances where maybe things have been a little different for me personally, but I feel like overall, generally, I'm not that excited as much as other people would be after, like immediately after the Super Bowl. I'm like, okay, the game just ended. Like, we're still a couple days away from even seeing those grainy 6-pixel videos from reporters.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I think, and that's why I said it's two different answers. But like, as for the podcast, for us, I know that like we're getting closer to having certain topics, and there's certain things we're going to be able to talk about, and it really is this. I think these next few weeks are gonna cruise by, and it's a little bit different for us this year because we have the World Baseball Classic, so that's kind of changing things. But yeah, overall for me as like a true baseball fan, like sit, watch, enjoyment, it doesn't happen until the first spring training game, and then it fizzles out. I'll say that too. After
very quickly.
After maybe about half of that game and all the subs start coming in, I'm just like, yeah, okay. I'm over it. Ready for opening day now.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say I'm probably in the same place. It may even be less than half a game for me. Maybe it's probably like once we make it one way through the lineup once, I'm like, all right, I've seen what I needed to see. Bring me opening day.
Well, I think it sucks is because like us as fans, we're so impatient that like we invest so much in the production of spring training. And it's so hard to like remind yourself that like it doesn't always correlate to the regular season. Like Kyle Higashioka was probably the greatest spring training player on the planet last year. Had like 8 home runs and just, I think he had like half that in the entire season.
He was
season.
a serviceable player. I'll give him that.
So it's just like you get stoked about certain guys. Greg Bird, one to note, is probably the greatest spring training player of all time in Yankee history, and just the exact opposite for the season. So yeah, it's I think that's the other challenging part of it, right? Like you got to remind yourself that this is just like it's like walkthroughs, man. You just hopefully no injuries happen, and maybe a bomb of a trade or signing will happen, or a surprise like veteran invite makes the roster kind of thing. Those are always fun.
Well, you mentioned World Baseball Classic. I wanted to get into this a little bit with you because they just released the World Baseball Classic rosters, made those official. I want to say, Friday?
Yeah, I think so. It was all over social media.
Yeah, sometime in the last few days. Truth be told, I was just a tad confused because I thought we kind of knew what the rosters
So did I.
were, just because of guys announcing, saying that, like these all-in graphics that we kept seeing, guys
Right.
posting on their socials. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it. Guys were doing interviews about it. So the only takeaway I had, and you and I kind of were texting back and forth about it, the only real takeaway I had from the roster announcement was the jersey numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is kind of the only thing that we didn't really know already. Maybe that was just a Team USA thing. Like maybe the international teams were a little more unclear. I don't know, like what their whole approach towards those announcements were, but
yeah, because like you got to remember, a lot of those international teams, like they don't have big league current guys. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're just playing professional baseball, like in that country, or maybe still in the minor league system. So yeah, that I'm assuming is a part of the equation. But I feel like us as USA fans, like we've known, even like baseball fans for DR and Venezuela and Cuba, and like we've had a pretty good idea of those rosters already. But either way, man, I'm getting stoked.
dude, I'm like, we just got done talking about how like the 6-pixel videos in spring training doesn't really do it for us.
This
on
does
the flip
it for
side,
me.
yeah, this is getting me going, and hearing how these guys, not just with Team USA, but like across the board, international and the like, we've seen we've heard multiple sound bites. We've seen multiple quotes where guys are saying like, this is more like of a prouder, like this is a prouder moment for me being named to my national team for this event than getting drafted. I can't even remember who it was. I just saw a quote like yesterday, the day before, where the guy came out and was like, yeah, this was a greater moment for me than being drafted. So just knowing that that's the mentality that these guys are bringing to this event. And we've talked about it. The baseball world as a whole, I feel like has done a fabulous job kind of promoting this event, getting people hyped up for it. Providing the fine print details, like when it is, where people are going to be playing, what pools are going to be where, who's in what pool. I just feel like of the WBCs we've seen thus far, just in terms of the preparation leading into it, I feel like this is going to be the strongest showing we've seen of any of the ones we've seen prior to.
100%, dude. And I think it's awesome that it kind of lines up with like the World Cup year. I know it was technically last year for the World Cup for soccer, but it's like, I think you're seeing that, like that country pride, you know what I mean? Like that, I want the gold medal because like, this is for my country. And I want the WBC to look, I understand soccer is the most watched sport in the world. It's not going to get there. Like the WBC isn't going to be this, we're watching all times a day for 2 weeks kind of situation. But I think this is how it starts. Like there's no reason why it can't get there someday, eventually, 20, 30 years down the road. I mean, this is only like the 5th one. Like this is still really new. And so, like you said, like the players being bought in and taking a different mentality to it, I think it's exciting. I think especially for a lot of veteran guys on the roster, specifically the guys that have been to spring training before, they understand their bodies, they understand what they need, and they understand that they are capable of doing this. I think it makes them more excited. It's almost like, dude, we don't have to go to regular spring training. Like, that's boring. Been there, done that. I'm good on my own. Like, now I get to play meaningful baseball. So, yeah, I'm pumped. And it obviously helps that we're going. So,
oh, without a doubt. And you mentioned the meaningful baseball. I hope and pray that we see a repeat, or maybe even stepping it up a level in terms of intensity that we get from these guys. Like, I need to see an Adam Jones leaping up, robbing a home run-esque play or style of play or level of effort from these guys this year, because, like, I get it. It's not an MLB sanctioned thing. I understand that. Like, these guys have contracts that they have to worry about. They have their own personal health that they have to worry about, but nothing would do more for the game of baseball on an international level than to see any and all of these teams coming out just firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Like, we absolutely need that. And I don't, whether it's guys on the bump, and I get it, maybe a little different for guys on the bump, but I just don't want there to be certain facets of the game, at least from Team USA's perspective, because obviously that's what we'll be tuning in most to see. I mean, we'll be there watching them, but just over the course of the event, I just don't want there to be, certain facets of the game where we're seeing like 100% and other facets are dialed back. Like, I just want to see, like, guys, especially the veterans, like you said, who have been around the block, know what to expect of themselves, know what they're capable of doing at this point in time of the year, to really just let it eat. Because I just feel like baseball as a whole has a incredible opportunity with this event.
So oddly enough, I was sort of having this conversation. We were over at Paige's parents' house for the Super Bowl yesterday, and we were talking about how, like, Patrick Mahomes' ankle has been kind of acting up, and he kind of tweaked it during the game yesterday, and then, like, you saw him, like, at moments during clutch times in the game, he just take off and run for a first down, and they're like, go down, what are you doing? Like, don't get hurt. And I tried to tell them, and I was like, when the adrenaline kicks in, you know nothing but that instinct that you've been training for your whole life. Like, if the adrenaline can take away the pain, you're going to do what you normally do. And so that same argument applies to, I think, these games. If a ball's hit in the 5-5 gap, I don't think you're going to see Nolan Arenado react any differently in a USA jersey than he would a Cardinals jersey. You know what I mean? Like, he is going to be Nolan going to be Nolan. And I think that it hopefully, like you said, just is that underlying understanding amongst all of these players that it's like, this is the way it's going to be, but it's a little extra flavor. I think there's going to be a ton of, like, long lasting bat flips, standing there like these. You're going to see so many different cultures at these games. It's going to be sick, dude. It's going to be sick. And it's going to just sprinkle a little extra on what we're used to.
Yeah, like, in a dream world, in a dream scenario, not only would you most likely not see Nolan Arenado pulling up on a ball that's just outside of his range.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, I would love to think that with USA across his chest, you see Nolan Arenado maybe get to a ball that
extra?
he just wouldn't get to in a regular season game on a random Tuesday in June. Like, that's just me. I don't know. Time will tell. But let's just run through this lineup, this roster real quick, just to give people who maybe don't know the full scope of what Team USA is bringing to the table here for this WBC. So just running through the pitchers here real quick. We've got Adam Ottavino, Adam Wainwright, Brady Singer, Brooks Fraley, Clayton Kershaw, Daniel Bard, David Bednar, Devin Williams, Jason Adam, Kendall Graveman, Lance Lynn, Merrill Kelly, Miles Michaelis, Nestor Cortez, Nick Martinez, and Ryan Presley. Behind the dish, we got JT Realmuto, Kyle Higashioka, Will Smith. On the infield, we got
Stacked, by the way.
Bobby Witt Jr., Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, Pete Alonso, Tim Anderson, Trey Turner. Around the outfield, we got Cedric Mullins, Jeff McNeil, Kyle Schwarber, Kyle Tucker, Mike Trout, and Mookie Betts. And then kind of holding down the throne from a managerial perspective, we got Mark DeRosa, and then with him, he's bringing Jerry Manuel, Brian McCann, Ken Griffey Jr., Andy Pettit, Luke Collier, Dino Abel, and then Dave Righetti.
Dude. I love the coaches coming in, dude. That's like, it just adds to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have Hall of Famers, Hall of Fame caliber players, longtime vets in that dugout, mixed with vets. It's just like, you see, and just going back to what we talked about, like not being able to shut it off. There's an on switch and there's an off switch, and that's it. There's no in between. And you look through those names, I already mentioned Nolan, but like Wainwright, Nestor Cortez, Clayton Kershaw, those guys aren't playing any differently. They're going to do what they do. And I love the coaching staff. It's so sick, dude. So sick.
So if we were, and we've seen projected lineups all over social media, but just for the sake of conversation here, now that we're talking about it and taking a little bit deeper of a look at this roster, what would a dream lineup look like for Team USA? In other words, what's going to be the best collection of players that's going to have the best chance to beat the Dominican Republic? Because I don't know if you've seen that roster, but that's a little concerning from for Team USA fans such as ourselves.
Okay. So I think we lead off with Trey Turner. That's short, right? I mean, that has to happen.
That's a safe start.
I think
it's wild that there's so many names on here that aren't going to see the field in the first inning.
I know.
That's just insane to me.
Mike Trout in center hitting 2. You like that?
I would maybe go Mookie too, because Mookie to me, actually, no, you know what? But then you got Kyle Schwarber too.
Yeah, dude.
God, I mean, to me, Mookie and Kyle Schwarber are like two of the most elite leadoff, or the two of the most. I mean, you can bounce them anywhere, but for me, in terms of fit for leadoff, two of the most elite options.
All right, well then, I think Mookie leadoff, then Trey Turner second. How about that?
Yeah,
and then Mike Trout third.
Mike Trout third.
I mean, just flip a coin, dude. Flip a coin. So
I would go, yikes, dude. This is...
I mean, is Kyle Tucker just going to play left field? Because I'm kind of looking at the lefties, right? A little balance of lefty action going on. So Kyle Tucker or Schwarber maybe in that 4 spot.
You're saying Schwarber in the 4 spot?
Well, and that's the other thing too. Like, who's going to start at first base? Is it Pete Alonso? Is it Paul Goldschmidt? Who's DHing? Is it Schwarber?
I'm absolutely putting Paul Goldschmidt in at first. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't care.
I agree with you.
Like, Pete Alonso, sorry. You can go squat. Go do some deadlifts in the tunnel while you wait, because Paulie Goldschmidt's playing first.
Whatever you want, dude. Just whatever you want. Like, you're not going to miss. I know Jeff McNeil is listed as an outfielder, but I'm assuming he's playing 2-bag, right?
Yeah. That'd be my guess. I mean, I'm seeing
So I could see him at like 6'7". Yeah.
I'm seeing lineup projections that have Pete Alonso DHing over some of these guys. I'm seeing a lineup here that has Pete Alonso in the lineup and not Kyle Schwarber. On what planet are we living on here, folks?
Well, the lefties are going to have to get in. I mean, there's only McNeil, Cedric Mullins, Schwarber, and Kyle Tucker. The rest are righties. So those lefties are going to have to get into the mix. You got to get your anti-Pete Alonso bias out of here. He's going to do, he's going to do something good. He's going to do something big. You're going to root for it when you see it.
You say if you have Paul Goldschmidt, Pete Alonso.
Hey, I'm with you, guy. I'm just saying you got to have Pete Alonso in the lineup at some point.
If you have Paul Goldschmidt, Pete Alonso, and Kyle Schwarber, tell me who's getting left off there.
It's so hard. I don't know.
It's not.
I don't know.
It's not.
I don't know.
Like, who's getting in at bat later in the game because they're not starting the first 7 innings? Sorry, that's Pete Alonso.
I don't know. I'm glad I'm not Mark DeRosa because I wouldn't want to deal with this.
You get 40+ power from Schwarber. You can slot him in at leadoff if you wanted to, but I don't know if he sees a leadoff spot in this tournament.
I doubt it.
And you get a guy coming from the left side. So, like, what is there to debate?
There's going to be so much rotation within this lineup. And I like that it's not like all-star size. You know what I mean? All-star size makes it annoying. I'm glad that you know what I mean? Like, the structure of this is cool. If they let too many guys in here, then he's having to worry about, like, getting guys playing time. This is just, I'm going to get my dub. I'm just out here to get dubs and probably look through quite a bit of analytics to make sure you're putting the best lineup out there. It all comes down to the pitching, who they're going to be facing and stuff like that. That's the only thing that has me nervous, by the way. Our pitching staff doesn't get me super fired up.
Yeah, I mean, you got Nestor Cortez towards the top of your rotation. Like,
Yeah, like it's
not that he's like
Nestor's
not
great,
worthy of
but
that,
like, yeah.
But when you're going up against some of these international lineups,
yeah, like you'd be hoping for some bigger studs. But that's always going to be the case. I mean, what's the Dominicans?
Let's see what Magic Waino still got left, man. I mean, Kershaw.
True.
He'll give you good starts, but I mean, God, with the way we saw last year pan out, Kershaw has one moment of discomfort and he's getting pulled in the second. So I don't know how much you can expect from him.
The Dominican pitching staff is absurd.
I mean,
absurd.
Our relief and back end is pretty solid.
Yeah, bullpen's sick.
I mean, we got some dudes.
Like, bro. My goodness. This is going to be a heavyweight matchup if the DR and USA meet in the finals. I'm
gonna need it.
I can't even remember. I didn't even look at the structure. I'm assuming it's like a series, right? Like a 3-game set, 5-game set.
I don't know.
5's a lot.
I wouldn't think. How did the last one end up?
You got me? I don't know. Let me see if I can find it.
I'm wondering if that's too much of a toll for these guys this early in the year.
Run through that Dominican roster. Let these people know what USA is up against.
All right, so Dominican Republic, we're looking at, from a pitching perspective, we got Brian Abreu, Camilo Doval, Carlos Estevez, Cesar Valdez, Christian Javier, Diego Castillo, Enyel de los Santos. I'm as white as Wonder Bread, so forgive me on some of these names. Genesis Cabrera, Gregory Soto, Hector Neris, Yarlin Garcia. Give me a break here, folks.
You're crushing it.
Like, give me just a somewhat easy name. Joel, how do you say it? Piamps. Piamps. Do you know who I'm talking about? You can sit there and laugh. You're not the one reading off the list. All right, here's one I know. Johnny Cueto, Jose Leclerc, Luis Garcia, Rafael Montero. Just so you guys know, like I know who these guys are, but the names just always trip me up. Ronel Blanco, Sandy Alcantara, Yimi Garcia, Francisco Mejia behind the dish, Gary Sanchez behind the dish. Infielding, we've got Gene Segura, Jeremy Pena, Ketel Marte, Manny Machado, Nelson Cruz, Rafael Devers, Robinson Cano. Wait, isn't Nelson Cruz? He's the GM too. I read.
Really? I didn't know that. That's cool.
Let me double check. Was this like another Nelson Cruz?
Also, the championship is just one game. It's on March 21st.
Yeah, he is the GM. Wait, what'd you say?
Championship's just one game.
Yeah.
March 21st in Miami.
Yeah. I kind of like that, to be honest with you. For this particular event, I like the one game. Robinson Cano, Vladdy Jr., Wander Franco, Willie Adames, outfield, Eloy Jimenez, Juan Soto, Julio Rodriguez, Teoscar Hernandez.
Bro.
Just unfair.
Completely stacked. I mean, there are honest talks about this being the greatest roster to play ever of all rosters anywhere. You could argue it. You could absolutely argue it.
Team USA just needs to pretend that this is the USSR.
Yes, this is the miracle story for sure.
This is the miracle story for Team USA.
I love that we're underdogs.
It can be done, but we are certainly underdogs.
I like it. I like that. It gets me juiced up.
I think it gets them amped up too.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I can't wait.
Yeah. If we lived closer to Miami.
Yeah, selfishly, I'm kind of upset we don't get to see the DR play Team USA while we're out there.
I wish Team USA was in it, but you have to match them up. I don't want to lose one of those teams in pool play.
Yeah. Yeah, that would suck. So, I mean, lineup wise, I think the takeaway here is that Pete Alonso is trash and doesn't belong on this team. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm sorry, but I'm taking Schwarber or Goldschmidt ahead of him 10 times out of 10.
I'm with you. He's going to get some big at-bats, though.
And then we got Mookie, I think, rocking 3. Is that what I saw? Is that what we saw on the jersey store?
Oh, boy. Why doesn't he just change that full time? Yeah, instead of 50, he's going to be rocking number 3.
Where was that? I think it was on like lids, wasn't it?
Yeah. We can customize it, or not customize, but pick whichever jersey.
Pick a player.
You are getting one, right?
I'm going to see. I'm just going to wait till we get out there, but I mean, if it's just outrageous, I don't know, but
it's going to be an expensive week. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
worth it.
Yeah. I think that's the other thing about this too, is that like we're getting, how many times can you and I say we're getting a new baseball experience? You know what I mean? Like there's only so many.
Yeah, I mean, how many times can you watch the Red Sox beat up on the Yankees in the postseason? Like it's fun and all, but I mean, after a while, it gets a little stale.
Whatever is going to keep you
a
above
little
water
stale
for the next few years.
Yeah, so I mean, you're right. Totally new experience for both of us. I'm very much looking forward to it. This will be a good time. And if we can get Ryan out there, we need Ryan out there bad for this.
Yeah, I know.
We need Ryan, Mr. Ripken out there. I mean, we could go through a lot of other lineups international wise, but we'd be here all day.
I think we understand that these are the two heavy hitters.
I think we understand what the threat here is.
Side note, the other thing I'm excited about, I think, isn't Yadi Molina managing Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico, yeah.
So that's going to be cool.
Sure is. Yeah, they were talking to him about if they lined up with Team USA with Waino on the bump. He was like, "Yeah, I would know every pitch that's coming."
Yeah,
But
yeah, dude, 100%.
I mean, I need that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how the pools are shaped up.
Yeah.
Like are DR and Puerto Rico both in Miami?
Let me see real quick. I'll pull that
Because
back
I
up.
would
just
love
had it.
to see USA play both of those teams.
Yeah, so in Miami, it's Puerto Rico, Venezuela, DR, Israel, Nicaragua. USA's got it light. USA, Mexico, Colombia, Canada, Great Britain. Who knows, dude?
let's
Maybe
hope it's
maybe
light.
Pool D in Miami is just gonna beat up on each other, and then when USA moves on, I don't know. This is just gonna be good baseball, no matter what.
I'm excited,
though.
man. I'm
Honestly, the lineup in Japan looks crazy too. Tough to force Cuba to go all the way to Taiwan. That's a tough look when Miami is right there for you.
I mean, I don't know who like oversees this whole event, but I mean, if the United States has any role in that, they're like, you know what, you've made life difficult for us
Yeah,
for a while, so we're gonna ship you out to Taiwan. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of political implications at play here. Maybe not nearly as much as like the World Cup or anything, but I'm sure there's a little bit of back and forth. But yeah, man, Pool C. Let's hope Team USA has it light. Pool D is going to be one fun pool to watch.
Feel bad for Israel and Nicaragua.
I mean, maybe this is their miracle year. Maybe they're looking at these other teams like USSR. Who knows?
Very true. I think Ian Kinsler is managing Team Israel.
Israel, yeah. I think so.
I like that. I like this. I like bringing, and what's cool, I think what I'm most excited about Mark DeRosa managing is the fact that like he's actually trying to get managing jobs. Like he's applied for managing roles for openings, and
Yeah,
it's like this is like a little bit of a test. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's going to take it seriously. So
I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would say that he is going to pass with flying colors, regardless the outcome.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna learn a lot about Mark DeRosa as a potential manager from this.
D-Rose beloved for sure. How can he not?
People might disagree with this comp, but I could see him having like the Alex Cora vibes, where he's like a player's manager. They love him. He's able to communicate with them well and effectively and efficiently.
Understands the game.
I don't know.
Knows how to talk to him. Not too far removed from playing.
He can dabble in both camps, old school, new school analytics, having gut feel. Like
I hope he gets a job somewhere after this. I do.
I hope he does. You know who's not going to have to worry about getting a new job? Yu Darvish. 6-year, $108 million extension through 2028. Full no trade clause. Went 16-8 with a 3.10 last year in 30 appearances. I don't know, man.
What do you mean?
I don't know. 6 years to a guy that's going to be 37 this year.
Is he that old?
He's turning 37 in August.
Oh, no.
It's surprising. Like,
Did you just see that update?
About the Ghost Runners?
No. Nestor isn't pitching in the World Baseball Classic. He just tweaked his hamstring.
Why did I not get this update?
It's probably a Yankee update. I don't know. It came through Bleacher Report.
Are you kidding me, Nestor? All right, well,
Dang
negate
it,
everything
dude.
we just said. We're getting bounced.
We're getting
We're getting bounced so fast.
Oh, it's a good thing we didn't get jerseys, by the way. He was in contention for me. I would have been bummed to get that jersey, and he's not even there.
I don't know. If I do get a jersey, I'm either getting our guy Bobby Witt, or I'm probably gonna get Mike Trout.
I need somebody to step in. Somebody big to step up. Just give me someone like that's like a top 5 guy. Just one top 5 guy right now.
Yeah, like somebody set the contract aside just for like a couple weeks and just realize what's at stake here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
Scherzer, DeGrom.
Nah, it wouldn't be any of those guys.
Definitely not, but those types of names. I personally don't want to see Garrett Cole get rocked in the WBC.
No, absolutely
just shatter all my confidence for all.
No, I'm pulling for Puerto Rico at that point. if that happens, you count me out. Absolutely,
getting a Team Mexico jersey, swapping our tickets.
Team Canada, I don't even care. give me a Tim Hortons hat. I could not care less if Garrett Cole was.
I just don't want to see him get rocked.
Oh, you know it would happen. And then it'd be because the humidor in Chase Field is off, or the sun is shining through the glass too brightly. What a pansy! So this Darvish thing. What's up with the Padres committing to guys through their like age 55 season? Is this like a flex? Is this a cause for concern?
I don't fully understand the Padres, to be honest with you.
Look, with the moves they made, I'm all in on what the Padres are doing over the course of the next couple of years. But some of these contracts are starting to get outrageous. It's like I'll give you a pass on Xander. It would never make that deal ever. But I can understand it. Like, you missed out on a couple guys. You needed to get another guy this offseason, one of these top level free agents. And in order to do that, you may have to overspend. You may have to overextend yourself a little bit. I'll give you a pass on the Xander thing. Again, don't think it was smart, but I'll give you a pass on this. But signing you Darvish through he's okay. So he's going to turn 37 in August. So that means he would be the final year of that contract would be starting his 42-year-old season, and he would finish that year 43.
I think it's 43, finish 44.
Either way,
I don't know. It's weird because like we go back and forth, and we always talk about these teams like hoping they spend money, hoping they push chips in the middle of the table, but it's like there's no direction to this. And that's what has me a little confused. You have like 8 shortstops on that team. I'm assuming Juan Soto is not going to be getting the number he's looking for from the Padres. So I'm going to go ahead and assume he's gone, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially if they're even remotely interested in the Shohei sweepstakes.
Yeah.
Which you can assume they would be.
I think everyone's going to be.
Well, everyone sure could have the interest, but not everyone is going to be willing to foot that bill. And I think the Padres have shown that they're one of the teams that are willing and capable of doing that.
Manny's gone. I think he's going to test it. I don't know if he's going to leave, but he's definitely going to test the market. It's all Padres for this year, for sure. Like, I understand, like, just going all in for this year. But if you're a Padres fan, I'm not buying a Manny jersey right now. I'm not buying a Soto jersey right now. You know, a lot of things are going to change in the next few years, but we've talked about this before. They're not that high on the revenue list. They're really not. They actually do qualify as a small market team. So, as odd as that sounds, as incredible as San Diego is in the field and in the city, and it's just like it's all, I don't know why it would ever be considered small market, but it is. So I don't know where this money's coming from.
Assuming we're not going to get a guy like Jacob deGrom or Max Scherzer to fill Nestor Cortez's spot, You know a guy who I'd love to see fill Nestor's?
Musgrove.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. That guy's a dog.
Like that guy is gonna give you what he has for
Yeah.
those starts.
Yeah.
Give me Joe Musgrove. Come on.
Step up, Joe.
We need it. No,
Step
Joe.
Step up for the country. Step up for the squad.
For club and for country. We need it. We absolutely need it. Yeah, so I mean, again, we know Darvish isn't going to pitch into his 44-year season, but at the end of the day,
I had no idea he was that old. I really had no idea.
It's just a little confusing now. Again, I'll give you the pass on the Xander thing, but the more this that you do, I'm gonna lose more and more faith that you have some sort of direction, because right now it just seems like you're throwing everything at the wall, seeing what sticks, and then signing a blank check for whatever that is.
I'm with you, man. I don't know. I mean, I it's not like I'm rooting against it, and I don't want people to think that like we're anti-spending money. But obviously, we're very pro owners going in. But aimlessly is a different story.
Yeah, just like make... I'm laughing at myself because I'm sitting here, we're doing a podcast, and we're not running a Major League Baseball club, but it just seems pretty simple to know that you should be making wiser decisions when it comes to these extensions. 6 years for a 37-year-old in August?
How insane is it? How old do you feel when I tell you that he broke in 2012? Man, why is that not registering for me?
I had just graduated high school.
Why is that? What? Why do I feel like it's been like 2015, 2016? He's been around so long. Those first few years in Texas were kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, because refresh me. He's been with Texas. He's been with Chicago. And I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Dodgers, right?
Oh, Dodgers. Yeah, that's what it was. Dodgers. Yep.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in LA. Yep, sure was. I mean, yeah, 2012 sounds about right.
Yeah, he was traded 2017 to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that sounds right.
And then signed with Chicago in 2018. So only a split time there, but it's I don't know why it just doesn't feel like he's been in the league that long. I don't know, man. I hope the best though. He had a heck of a season last year, and it's like if you're able to find that, I don't know. There's got to be something out there that is saying that they know how to save these guys and reinvent these guys. And I mean, you're seeing Verlanders and Scherzers just going deep into careers. Maybe this is the new thing.
Well, we've seen examples of that longevity coming from overseas, and just in terms of how they approach rehab and off-season thing. Like it's possible that maybe Darvish has a little something extra that maybe somebody else not from overseas would have in that situation.
For sure.
It's regardless, you run that risk when you sign somebody into their early 40s that it's not going to pan out. And I get it. We're not paying him for his age 42 season.
It's just, I feel like if they would have thrown a 3-year deal at him, he still would have said yes.
Yes, that's all that I'm trying to say. Like, you don't have to offer him 6 years. Just give him 3, 4 even, but 3, I don't know.
Yeah, 6 is too much.
Yeah. Speaking of 3-year extensions, Bo Bichette.
This was a budget deal. This was going to Bo and saying, "Hey, you got to take one for the team here. We got a lot to do. We got a lot to work on. There's a lot of dudes that we got to figure out." The Blue Jays are definitely more prepared this year. I think they have a better idea on what's going on. They've now decided on who's going to move forward with them. You know what I mean? I think that the Biggio stuff, that's going to be put to bed, and then you have your guys that you're going to commit to. You know, they moved on from Teoscar. They moved on from Gurriel. So it's like Bichette and Vladdy being the guys make a lot of sense, but they're still having to compete. This was smart, and I think we've always talked about how like the Anthopoulos moves with the Braves could eventually start to be the new norm, where it's almost like GMs would rather do this than arbitration. You know, arbitration is kind of like this safety net thing. And this is still technically arbitration stuff, but you're getting your guy paid. You're acting in good faith. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's just 33 mil, but we're giving to you this, we're giving this to you now, and we're willing to talk again in 3 years, and we're willing to get you that mega deal, but we got work to do. You know? So good for Bo Bichette on being this flexible and managing this kind of thing. We talked about it earlier. The deal is pretty backloaded. Next year he's only making like 3-4 mil, and then it jumps way through the roof to like 11, 12 for 2024, and then like 17 for 2025. Still a budget deal for Bo Bichette. Like that's still, if you said you're getting Bo Bichette, even 3 years at 17 each year, you would have been like, still a budget deal. This dude's a stud. He deserves every dollar he's going to get.
Yeah, I'll admit, I think I slept on Bo a little bit last year. I mean, he hit 290, had 24 bops. Like,
yeah, he's still working defensively. I get that. You know, like he's still rough at short, but that stuff, man, it's just like, it's worth it. And he's such a professional AB. Yeah, I mean, if you're a young kid looking to get into baseball, that's a guy you watch. If you want to learn how to take an AB, you watch him. And yeah, I mean, it's obvious Canada loves him too.
It's worth noting that this deal could also be worth up to 40.65 mil if he reaches certain benchmarks or thresholds. So I think all things considered, a win-win.
Do you see any type of haircut in the 3 years? Do you see that on the table at any point?
I could see it. Yeah.
I think I'm ready for that. I'm ready to see it. The new hair. I'm ready to see like the new mature look. I get the lettuce. I understand if you got it, rock it, but you know what I mean? It's like McCutchen cut his dreads, you know? Tom Brady used to have a bunch of long hair, and then he's just pretty much just went short.
Just clean cut, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just curious to see it. That's all. And if it takes away his superpowers or not.
Yeah. I think you see it.
As long as there's no man bun. I'm not a man bun guy.
Can't have that.
Yeah.
Absolutely cannot have that.
Yeah.
I don't know why they call it a man bun. There's nothing really man about a man bun.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Bo, you got the lettuce. You either go with that, just keep what you got, or just go straight clean cut. Don't give me this in between.
I think it's uncomfortable how like straight. I'm uncomfortable seeing how straight it is and how like perfectly cut it is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like the Brandon Crawford look is like, oh, it's a little messy. You know, like the Jared Saltalamacchia look, where it was just like long and kind of all over the place. The Randy Johnson, ooh, that mullet was scary. Maybe I'd like to see a mullet out of him. That could get me fired up a little bit.
I'm trying to picture it, honestly. I don't know if...
There's only a certain amount of guys in this world that can pull off a mullet. I think he might be able to do it.
I could see it. I don't know if I'd like it, but I think I could see it.
I'm all for it.
Fair enough. You know what else I'm all for is the Marlins bringing the teal back. Kind of closing the book here. Just got a couple more items to run through before we get into our draft. But yeah, the Marlins are bringing the teal back. They're celebrating their 30th year anniversary. As part of Flashback Fridays, they'll be bringing back the pinstripe teal uniforms, helmets, and hats for at least 5 Friday home games at Lone Depot.
5 Friday home games. It's kind of a low number, but I'm about it.
Yeah, so something I don't know if we talked about really at length on here, but it kind of went under the radar with Nike coming out and saying that teams have to cut down to 4 jerseys. I don't know if you saw that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So teams are limited now to 4 unis. And
I did see that because there was the joke about like can the Yankees give up like their 2 free ones that they're not using to other people.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I think we did touch on it a little bit, but like the Mets, I think had to cut their. Oh, which one did they cut?
Is it the Blues?
No, I think it was surprising because I think they cut their road grays, and they're exclusively. Hold on, I need to look this up.
Are they just black? Just what? Just the white and blacks?
Well, no. So they're keeping the black. They've got the white, like the pinstripes.
Sure.
But I can't remember if they cut.
What are they wearing on the road?
Well, if they did cut the grays, it would be the blue with the gray. You know what I'm talking about? The blue top. It's got like the well, at least it used to. It has like the silver lettering in the middle. They may have changed it.
Stupid.
Oh yeah, and then the teams also have to account for their City Connect.
It has to do something with the sponsorship patches going on there. Has to. Like that way you can actually equate the dollar amount. You know what I mean? And you can make it even across the whole league. But the Twins just came out with all their new stuff. Was that only 4?
Yeah, I think it was 4. I'm trying to see here. I can't find it. But I think it's possible they eliminated the road grays, which I think is insane. Because I remember just being shocked either way. I can't remember which one they eliminated.
I don't think road grays get enough love.
No, they don't.
People don't talk about it enough. I like gray.
Okay, so Nike has a 4+1 plan.
Ah, okay. That's cool. So for this Marlins one, like that's the +1 because it's barely around. It's only 5 games.
Okay, so it says I think Nike said that they can have 4 jerseys that you can wear home, road, 2 alternates, plus your City Connect when you unveil that.
That's perfect. That's a good amount. I wish the Marlins would bust it out more often, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
it's an incredible scheme, a color set.
Because the Orioles, the Red Sox are both Fridays for those alternates.
They used to wear their Friday Reds, but they just wear it whenever they want now, which I think is garbage, but whatever.
And the O's are the Friday Blacks.
Yeah, and then they go orange on
Sundays. I don't like that orange one.
Saturday, Sunday. I can't remember.
I think the orange one's just okay for me.
That's Black is peak.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good amount. I'm excited to see the old school jerseys come back for the Marlins. I want newer franchises when they move and they get a new stadium and it's like I want them to succeed. It's not about necessarily like competing for rings every year, but it's weird to see a new stadium not packed, not filled with a bunch of fans, and not having a ton of stuff. And I know that the Marlins have like gone through these weird chapters, and Jeter coming in and then leaving, and then like stuff being removed from the stadium. I just want I want them to be a vibe. I don't know how else to say it. I just want that stadium to be fun. I want it to be filled, and I want to see people down there going to games.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's something to be said too. Like you look at the more traditional teams, and I get it, they've just been around so much longer, a much greater sample size and opportunity for success. I get all that. You look at like the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Cubs, the Dodgers. I think there's something to be said for not just ripping off the Band-Aid every few years and be like, oh, well, our ballpark's 20 years old, time to burn it down and start from scratch. Like I think there's something to be said for building a brand and not just hitting the reset button every so often. And I'm not saying that's what the Marlins are doing, but you hear more and more talks about like, well, the ballpark's getting to be 15 years old. We better start thinking about another option downtown or something. It's like, well, no, if you don't have any sort of like tradition or history or foundation that you can build from, like it's just going to be a revolving door of mediocrity. I don't know.
It's just, you see certain places that make adjustments, and like the Rockies are a perfect example. They're kind of a mess when it comes to their roster and their organization and things like that, but they're always top 10 in ticket sales. And then you watch them not be able to sell that upper deck in right field, and then they just built bars up there, and now it's like a social thing. The Marlins need to get something going like that. Bring something in that gets more people there. Change it up just a little bit, even if it's like changing the dimensions of the field, like something to get it going again. I like that this is happening. I like that they're bringing in the teal again. That drip should have never left, but they need more. They need more.
Yeah, the culture's there. You just need to package it in a way that's and present it in a way that's just enticing for the fans, and you get something to rally behind. Last note here, Derek Jeter.
Real quick, before we get into that, who's the one player you think of when you hear those jerseys are coming back?
Gary Sheffield.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm between either him or Pudge Rodriguez. And I know that most of his time was with Texas, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's I'm a big Gary Sheffield guy, because I'm not. No, yeah, but it's one of those, because I do those kinds of things all the time when I see him on Twitter. It's like, oh, who's the first person you think of when you see Expos?
You're right.
And I just do these like little brain exercises, and for some reason, Gary Sheffield is that guy. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know.
Beckett, Jeff Conine, Cliff Floyd.
Yeah. D-Train. I mean,
dude, Dontrell, actually, that's probably the guy. Yeah. I love it.
Well, that's the thing. It's not like who you most associate it with. It's the first person you think of.
It's just who you think of.
To me, there's a difference, because if I was going like who I'm associating with, it's completely different than Gary Sheffield. But
the Sheffield, I definitely understand that. I agree.
Dude just rocked it, man.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter announced that he is joining the Fox Sports booth. So him and A-Rod are going to be good pals again.
I have very mixed emotions about this. I'm not going to lie.
I kind of do too. Like, I'm excited for him. I think he'll be a great fit. I think guys like him and Brady hopefully will fall into that, like to make a comp to football. Like, well, not so much now, because I've heard that, and I've heard it for myself, but Tony Romo, I feel like, has kind of fallen off the deep end a little bit. But
they're starting to make fun of him a little bit, but
like he's getting a little over the top. But like when he first came up, it was like, this guy is a freaking pro's pro. And then you got a guy like Greg Olson, another guy where it's like
crushed it yesterday.
Yeah. So like I think guys like Tom Brady, Derek Jeter, I think they'll be okay. I really do.
it's odd for me because like you're talking about arguably the most cryptic athlete to ever deal with the media of all athletes.
Is cryptic the word you're looking for, or just
politically correct answers? But I mean, yeah.
I mean, he'd cut it to you straight. I feel like. I mean, not in like a not in like a derogatory way, but he. I don't think he was.
He just you never saw anything else but the answer. You never heard anything else but the answer you expected. You know what I mean? And that's I think he put on a masterclass. That's how you kind of survive in those mass market, large market medias. But I'm curious to see how he opens up a little bit, how he kind of lets loose a little bit. And they have fun. Like, say what you will about A-Rod, whether you like him or don't. Like, he has fun with Big Papi. They mess with each other. They're sneaking. They're wearing their rings on the
Oh,
show. They're putting Yankee or Red Sox stuff on each other. So,
well,
I'm trying to picture Jeter doing that, and I can't.
I just want to clarify: ring, singular for A-Rod, plural for David Ortiz.
Yeah.
Sorry, just want to clarify. Continue.
Yeah.
Just want to set the record straight. That's all.
Well, now the rings are going to be balanced out a little bit more. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. And I mean, did you watch the Jeter doc? Did you watch The Captain?
I watched the first episode. I still got to watch the rest.
Dude. Obviously, there's an entire like section of one of the episodes that talks about the A-Rod stuff. That's not that long ago.
Yeah.
And I got to give credit to A-Rod kind of owning up to his stuff. Like he's owned up to what he's done and said and been wrong about and things like that. So it's just, I'm not expecting any kind of like rivalry or anything between the two. I'm just trying to picture Derek Jeter not being a player, not being a front office guy, and being entertaining.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
I don't know. And it's not like he doesn't fail at things he does. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, but that's
weird.
the thing. That's the thing, though. He's not going to need to bring that entertainment value because you already have that on
got
set.
That. Yeah,
they've got
Poppy's
that covered.
Got that.
They don't need more of that. So I think now how that works in a group of 4, 5, 6 guys all in one set at one time.
Yeah,
we'll see how that works out. But at least from I think what they're looking for from him, I think he'll fill that void perfectly. Like they just need a guy who knows baseball, knows what he's talking about, has been around the game, is just going to bring you that, like, bread and butter info that you're looking for, that insight. Right. I think he'll do that and just leave the shenanigans to the other guys.
Is Fox like slowly becoming the new ESPN? Going in on Jeter and in on Brady? Like in.
Well, I saw that ESPN was trying to get Jeter because of like working with him with the doc and everything.
I think there's a little bit of a rivalry there because ESPN they stole Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
I'm sure there's some sort of rivalry there. And I saw Yes Network was trying to get Jeter too for obvious reasons, but
yeah. I think Fox is just willing to write a bigger check.
I mean, it's an appealing for a guy like that. That's got to be an appealing destination. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm excited. I'm just I'm mixed emotions because like I don't want to see him be bad. That's all I can say. I don't know how else to say it. I don't want to see him being bad at something. So hopefully he's not bad at this.
To be fair, last thing I'll say, we have seen guys take over the analysis role, whether it be in a broadcast booth on MLB Network, that were greats in the game, didn't necessarily pan out.
Right.
And it didn't necessarily, some guys maybe, but a lot of guys, it didn't necessarily affect their legacy or the way people perceive them. So
sure.
I think with the resume that Jeter's built up, I think he'll be fine either way.
Did they say what the deal was?
I didn't see
Fox?
it. No.
No.
I mean, we know Brady's, but I don't know.
Brady's was fat.
It was like $375, I think, for
fat
10 or 11.
That's a stupid number.
Is it safe to assume that Jeter's got to be like at least in the ballpark?
I would assume that.
I mean, there's a lot of comps to be made there. Like, I would think he's got to get a guy like Jeter. He's got to be in the ballpark. All right. It's draft time. Let's run through this. For this installment of our drafts, we have baseball families. So we're looking at any and all combinations of baseball brothers, father and son duos. There's never been a grandfather grandson duo, so we're not going to necessarily take that into account, but just really any family tree combo that's come through the pipe. We are definitely going to miss out on some, so don't be gracious to us. Cut us some slack, because there is a lot.
Like, I was looking through the baseball almanac, and it was just stupid long. There's kind of a little bit of an ode to the Kelseys yesterday. You know, Travis and Jason playing against each other in the Super Bowl. Mom wearing half Chiefs, half Eagles stuff. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. So we're just talking baseball families that, you know, whatever the combination is, siblings, parents, family in general. But yeah. So who won the last draft? Are you looking it up?
I'm looking it up. I know it wasn't close. Which is garbage, because, and I know I say this every time, but I felt like I had a legitimate chance to win that draft, but I got smoked again. Oh yeah, the MLB Man Crushes draft. Yeah, got throttled 65-35.
I don't feel super confident about this one, so I think you
say
got a
that
shot.
every time, and watch, it'll be like 85-15 this time. It's just, these people are idiots, man. And until I finally get a dub, they're gonna remain idiots, because I've just had enough. All right, baseball families. First overall pick. What do you got? In a weird way, there's some pressure on you, because you're setting the tone.
Yeah,
here.
I know. There's so much pressure. So much pressure.
Sorry, while I was looking up the draft results, did you mention anything about like the criteria we're going for here? Like what's...
No, I didn't. It's just like overall, I think family success. I don't think you have to like necessarily... I think it's like a combination of success and notoriety. Yeah, just like the legend of this name.
Because there's some guys on here that like you just don't know the full career numbers on. Like if it's a dad or something, like
right.
There's just no way of fully knowing until you really dig down.
I think for the first overall pick, I'm going with the Griffies. I'm going with junior and senior. Just them being on the field at the same time, and that wasn't a part of the criteria, by the way. Just want to make sure that's clear. Like they don't have to have been on the field at the same time. It's just the fact that it's a family that has had great success in this game. Yeah, and I didn't look up seniors' numbers, but I think they're surprisingly solid. But obviously, junior is just up there with one of the greatest. So, yeah, a lot of pressure. My heart's beating right now. Like I don't know,
dude. Like it's all right.
It's a lot of pressure.
You got the first pick out of the way, and that's a pretty solid.
I think that's a solid can't miss one. So
that's a solid can't miss.
I'm going Griffies.
All right, so. For me, this isn't too difficult. I'm going Ripken family right off the top. You got
that was my other one.
You've got Junior. You've got Senior. You've got Billy, who's on MLB Network. You've got Ryan Ripken, a co-host from time to time on the 3-0 Take, this very podcast that you're listening to. So I got all my bases covered. I think the name speaks for itself. Like that.
Very true.
Just one of. And the fact that it's more than just, and I'm not knocking like the Griffey situation, but the fact that it's like more than two, like you've got brothers, you've got father-son, you've got, again, Ryan, who isn't necessarily in the MLB mix, but he's still kind of helping push
Right.
that legacy along from a baseball perspective. So
Yeah.
I feel very confident about my first pick.
And that was the only other pick that I was trying to go back and forth with the Griffies. But you talk about a family that's like they were all on the field at the same time. You know what I mean? With dad managing and Cal and Billy on the field at the same time, like that's pretty legendary stuff. So I get it. Second pick, I'm trying to see if I can snag them later, but
I know exactly who you're thinking of.
I know
exactly who you're thinking of.
I think I'm gonna go with them just because I don't feel confident getting them later in the draft. So I'm going Vladdy Jr. and Senior.
Wow.
Yeah. And I know it's early. I know Junior is not, gotten to Hall of Fame status, obviously, but I think he's well on his way. I think he's on his way. So yeah, I'm going with the Guerreros at pick number 2.
That's a great pick. Look, I'm gonna catch some flack here with this one, but I've lost 12 drafts in a row.
You got to shake things up.
I need to shake things up. I maybe need to go against the grain a little bit and maybe pull out a popular vote here for the fans. But I'm gonna have to go Bobby and Barry Bonds.
They were on my list as well.
I mean,
yeah,
we've on more than one occasion shared our opinions on Barry Bonds, but I mean, notoriety was part of the criteria here. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't know how much more notable it gets than Barry Bonds, and obviously, you throw Bobby in there in the mix. That's a solid duo for a draft such as this. That's my number 2 pick.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't feel good about it, but I again got to shake things up here.
I'm going with I think another solid one. I'm not really rocking the boat too much, So third pick, I'm going with the Molinas. For all of them to have World Series rings is absurd. And Benji moving into like coaching position. Now you're seeing Yachty move into a coaching position, but obviously just 3 incredible catchers. Jose being the other one, solid career between the Angels and the Yankees. Like they've been on the field together. Benji and Jose were like at one point together, and Benji was coaching and Jose is playing. It's so cool. They're all just insane catchers, and what a legacy. And I think it's even cooler that they're all played the same position. So yeah, give me the Molinas at 3.
I may this is tough.
This is a tweener spot. You're trying to figure out if I'm going to get them later, huh?
I'm putting myself in the minds of the people that are going to vote, and I just don't know if I feel great about this pick. But from a baseball perspective, this is such an easy pick.
Okay.
But I just don't know draft-wise what this is going to do for me. So, yeah, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go the DiMaggio family.
Wow.
Joe D.
I did not expect that at all.
Vince.
All right.
I mean, you take Vince. I didn't even know there was a Vince. You take Vince out of the mix. Joe and Dom.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to defend this pick. Go look at the numbers.
Sure. I understand. I think there's not too many people familiar with Dom.
That's fair.
As far as the average fan goes,
that's why I said putting myself in the minds of the voters. They're going to look at that and go, "Whoa, what a stupid pick!" But no, from a baseball point of view, I'm whatever. I don't need to.
What do we have? 4.
I got the DiMaggios back. I don't even care. Yeah, going to 4.
4. Despite recent activities.
No,
I still think it's going to be just fine overall in the long run of things. But give me the Tatis family, the Fernandos at pick number 4.
this is going to be the worst discrepancy in terms of voting results, just because some of our fans or some of our listeners are just idiots, and they're going purely off recency bias. They're going to go, who's Joe DiMaggio? Freaking idiots, dude. So I might as well just concede the draft now. Like, I don't even care. People are, I can't help that people are uneducated when it comes to guys like Joe DiMaggio, Dom DiMaggio, the Ripkins. There's probably people that don't know who Cal Ripken is. I can't fix stupidity. So I might as well just concede the draft now. It's fine.
You're going to be okay.
I'm not because at this point it's not looking great. It's not looking great. And
you got 2 picks left. I think there's two names that can get you really back into this hunt. Whether you have them written down, whether you remember them or not.
I probably
it's a different
don't.
story.
I probably don't.
All right.
I'm going to go, I'm such an old head. I'm going to go Prince and Cecil Fielder.
Oh, no. I was wanting them for last pick. Oh, that hurts. I just got you back in it.
Two of the more feared hitters of their respective eras. Cecil
and they
Fielder
finished at the same exact career home runs.
Yeah. Cecil Fielder put a ball into the light tower at Tiger Stadium back in the day. Look it up. It's a wild video. 2 of the most feared hitters in their respective eras when they were at their highest. I mean,
Prince hitting it in the river in Pittsburgh when he's like 12.
I don't need to.
I'm so upset that you snagged them. I didn't know if you would have them or not. That's why I pushed them to my last pick. Oh, that sucks. All right. See, this is where it's going to be interesting too, because of the number of people on social media, the age, right, of whether they know these names or not.
Which they won't.
Probably not. Give me the Alomar family at pick number 5. Sandy, Roberto, Sandy Jr. I mean, all freaks. All freaks. Solid? Pretty solid.
That's solid for number 5. I'll give you that.
Yeah. The fielders would have probably
cemented it for you.
Yeah, nailed it in for me, but it's okay.
So I do have a duo on here, but I might play a little recency bias here. I might go with a sexier pick, more attractive pick to our listener base. I'm gonna go.
You're really, really trying to save the day here, aren't you?
I'm not gonna save the day, but it's.
I think you might. I think the fielders, Bonds, you're gonna be okay.
Look, because I'm rounding this out with the last pick of the draft, I just want to reiterate that there will be people left off this list.
Yes.
And there's gonna be outrage. I can already see the messages, and you know who you are. I can see you messaging me in all caps saying, "How could you?" Like just know that I already know that those messages are on their way.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, I'm gonna go with an individual whose dad was picked overall 3rd in the Major League Draft, only to then beat him out by 1 pick.
I like this.
In the Major League Draft. And that's Bobby Witt Jr. and his father, Bobby Witt Sr.
I like that. I still think it's going to be tough with the recognition.
I know. And at this point, I'm just going off integrity here. Like,
Yeah.
to have a 5th round pick where a father-son duo, obviously different times, but a father-son duo where one gets drafted 3rd overall and one gets drafted 2nd overall. And by the way, the one who is the son of that duo is shaping out to be a pretty phenomenal.
I understand it. I just think it's a little early.
It's early, but
I got 2 honorable mentions. I couldn't really figure out which way to go. One honorable mention were the Giambis, Jason and Jeremy. But I felt like
you would have put that in there.
I felt like Jeremy just didn't do enough to add to that pot. And then I know that there's a lot of hate, and sometimes rightfully so. But the Boone family is absolutely absurd. And that goes all the way back to grandpa and then dad and then 2 brothers. I mean, that is a family that has spent a long, long time in baseball. So I know that there's not a whole lot of love for Aaron Boone, which again, at times is understandable, but either way, that name was in the conversation for me.
I had that's a great honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
The Giambis not so much, but
not so much. That was just a fun one. That was just a fun one.
The Boones, in terms of just like name legacy. That's pretty solid. I had just on my list, not that I was seriously, just in case I got into crunch time and needed a name or a duo, I had the Contreras brothers.
And I think that's what we're going to hear about most in the comment section right now.
And then I had the Seegers.
Ooh, that's a good one too. That's a sneaky one.
I mean, both, like, there's no, like, let's wait and see. Like, both of them have already kind of tacked
There's so many. I mean, the Bichettes, right, that we just talked about one of them today, that's in the conversation. I mean, it's still a little early, but the Lighters, when Jack finally breaks in and does his thing for the Rangers, I think he's going to be pretty good. The Clemens, there's so many families, dude.
It's
the Bellingers,
yes, I was gonna say
many.
It's a fun little exercise. If you're just bored, you're sitting on the crapper, pull up Family Tree Baseball, like duos and trios, brothers, father, son.
I used the baseball almanac. That was pretty easy. Just kind of scroll through the names. Yeah, you'll see a lot of guys there.
You can sort it chronologically. You can find, because you'd be blown away. You'd be like, I did not know that person had a brother or a dad that played Major League Baseball. It's wild. The Hayes, I thought about the Hayes between Charlie and Ke'Bryan. Thought about them for a sec. Yeah. So, I mean, Charlie has that, like, I don't know, like that iconic moment for me where he caught that foul territory pop up to win the World Series. I think 96 for the Yankees. Yeah. So I had completely forgotten about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's so many names, but I don't know, dude. I think this is probably our closest draft. I think you did good.
No,
I don't know if the wits are going to get you over the edge.
No, but like if I didn't win, and again, I don't know what this says about me, but if I didn't win the MLB Man Crushes draft with the picks that I had,
none of this matters.
None of it matters.
I think Bonds and Ripken names alone are going to get you a lot of clicks.
It doesn't matter. I am 100% convinced that people vote based solely, they don't even see my first pick. They see your first pick and they go, oh, I like that guy, or oh, I like that jersey. I'm going to vote for this guy. I don't even stand a chance, dude. I have never stood a chance for as long as I've had the second overall pick.
I think this is your chance.
It's not.
I think you're in the conversation.
The fattest L.
It's going to be close.
I'm going to take the fattest L.
I'm rooting for you.
Like at this point, you'd think it would almost become like a joke, like that the listeners would rally behind me and just be like, let's vote this bum in. Let's just get him a dub, even though his picks are to us trash, even though I know my picks are great. No, they don't even care. They don't even care about me.
Nope. Sorry, pal. Although I'm not that sorry.
Whatever. That's all I got. You got anything else for the people?
Nope. 3-0 changeup coming up soon, right?
Yeah, we may do one this week. We may not. I don't want to get in the rhythm of doing it to where people expect it. I want it to be like, just there's a 3-0 changeup.
Yep.
We'll sit on it. We'll think about it.
Yeah. Talked about it a bunch on the changeup episodes, but if you're not listening to those, totally fine. But either way, let's get ramped up for the season. Definitely use our link in the bio for Chalkboard. That's where, we're really going to focus this year on just making that our main spot to be able to communicate with you guys. And we are right around the corner for fantasy baseball stuff. We're going to chat about some of that and figure out what we're going to do for the draft and how we're going to pull teams. But everything is centralized around Chalkboard. So if you guys are a fan of us, if you want to support us in any way, please use that link in the bio. And then the typical rate, review, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to see the agony on Kyle's face, start watching YouTube.
And also use SeatGeek.
Oh yeah.
Promo code 30take. That's our social handle. $20 off your first purchase as a first-time user.
Cold hard cash. Cool.
It's the answer to all your ticket needs. You're looking for tickets, you have plans with friends or family
thing
to make it to an upcoming game or concert, or even looking months ahead to net down today to get tickets before they sell. With SeatGeek, you can find tickets to games, concert shows, and even theater performances with just a few easy clicks, or make it even better for you if you're a first-time user of SeatGeek. Next time you add some tickets to your cart, use our promo code 30take. That's our social handle at checkout to save $20 instantly off your first purchase as a first-time user. That's all you got to do. Save some of that.
Save like 3 gallons worth of gas.
Or like a carton of eggs, $20. Enter promo code 30take. That's our social handle at checkout. That's all I got.
Me too. Bye-bye. Just kidding. Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love y'all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.